So, Chase Sexton. Is he fixed? Not fixed?
Jury's still out, but if that guy shows up the rest of the season, that's your title winner, 100%.
100%.
Like, if that guy shows up, if backwards hat on the podium, Chase shows up.
Backwards hat on the podium.
That stat that they had on him was pretty interesting, and I didn't really realize it.
That
like, all of his he has these mid-season
90% of them are at the first whatever, and
then
the
when
last
we come back
however.
from a break, he clicks off all of his wins from the beginning and the end. So, like, that was, I mean, I don't think there's any denying that when Chase is at peak form and everybody else right now racing, Chase is faster than all of them. And if he rips the start, or even if he doesn't, like, they're not going to be able to pace him.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, those and starts were dialed all night last night, which is a little
different.
Which is ironic because if you listen to his interview, he said they practiced starts on Thursday and they weren't going well, and his dad just picked up the starting blocks and started walking away and said, "You know what? If you're going to start like this, we're not wasting our time."
Really?
Yeah.
Look, man,
Kier told him just take it back to the shop.
Point.
Well, AP was dialed on the starts too.
Yes.
Like both the KTM boys.
Well, hey, man, all of them Austrian bikes, like, I know they touched on this, but it's true, and I've talked about this in the past. You got that chromoly steel flex on those hard pack tracks.
There was
there was a lot of talk of that with Lay, Diddy, and Ricky.
Did you just call him Lay Diddy?
What did you just call him?
Did you just call him Lay Diddy?
Lay Diddy?
Oh,
Lee Diddy.
We're not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Lee Diddy.
Lee Diffie, sorry. That came out wrong.
No, it didn't. Don't lie.
No, it definitely came out wrong.
No, it didn't. Don't lie.
Yes, it did. So Lee and Ricky, they were driving that point home like that whole second main.
I can't argue with it. I know they were driving it home, and I know there's going to be talk this week of like, oh, these fucking idiots. But
it's true.
At the same time, you look at Chase, AP, and Mookie, and they were all good all day.
You look at all those twitchy tracks like that.
Yeah.
The KTMs, even back to Dungy's days, are notorious. The Austrian
good.
bikes always hook up better.
Yep.
Plain and simple. Yeah. It's not even a debatable thing anymore. Like, everybody for the longest time like really debated that until like people really started understanding the science of aluminum versus steel flex and the energy that goes through. But I mean, this has been a known thing for a while. So like, I just had to laugh when Ricky like was talking about it and he tried to sound smart, and I'm just like, dude, anybody that knows this shit
Tried
knows.
to sound smart. Give Ricky some credit.
Fuck that bitch.
Wow. Aggressive.
That was aggressive.
You just called Lee Diffie Lee Diddy, and you meant it.
I had a Freudian slip.
Freudians, it's Freudian.
Oh boy. Anyway, so Stu goes 3-2-3.
Hey, right here. This is
Oh,
that Malcolm Stewart Mellon collab right here. Weekends are easy, and the weekend is going to be easy for him because he got gas money for his boat.
I think somebody needed to stick a steroid shot in that man's hip.
Dude,
it looked like they did because he was on the podium. He wasn't hobbling around too bad on the podium.
No, he said he was sore, and that was a rough one.
Took a hit,
yeah, like that second one wasn't as bad. He got out of that second one pretty easy, but that first one was rough.
Well, you know,
Officer Hill cuffed
your
him
boy
and stuff.
Jay Hill decided to be a dodo head and fucking.
I don't know what he was thinking. Tripping out right there.
From the inside on the start.
So let me ask you guys this, and I meant to talk to Kev about this. That track looked like it was built weird, right? With everybody coming up short on things, and because there was a lot of that.
There was a lot of weird stuff.
Like, and it started with the Ansty thing, and then it just kept continuing of people just clanking the shit.
The far
out of
side
stuff.
section too, before the whoops, they got to stop building 2 and 5 footers right out of the exiting of corners.
Yeah,
like every time I watch that, like it stresses me the fuck out because every time someone hangs the front wheel.
but it was just like there were so many mistakes, so many places we watch guys come up short on stuff, and I'm like, they're not getting lift on these. And maybe it's something to, like what Kev was talking about with like the squishiness of it or something that was sucking them in the pockets and not allowing them to get the lift. But I mean, like I said, you saw it with Ansty because you don't see guys do what Ansty did a lot, and we saw that 2 or 3 times yesterday alone. So I don't know. There was something not quite right about that track.
I liked, if we're talking about the track for a little bit, and it's something as simple as this, and it even goes back to, there was a similar section back in San Diego. I liked Mookie's line coming back across the start when he came off that little roller out of the left, and he was jumping into the pocket of the 3-3. Because you saw him, he would just jump in, let the bike load up, and that would get him up and over. So he didn't have to think about soaking it up and how hard to push it into the face. He literally could just let that momentum drive him over instead of dropping in, pushing in, and then kind of thinking he's going to land in the face of the 4.
Yeah.
And every time he did that, like the first couple times I watched it, I'm like, man, like, is it really that much faster? You're not really driving off of that roller. But then I saw what he was doing, how he'd let the chassis load up, and I'm like, that's a lot. It's
Yeah.
consistent.
Yeah.
Because he would literally just land front wheel in the pocket, bike would load, pop him over.
Yep.
Wait, what part are you talking again?
So coming back across the start, that left-hander, that little roller, and then the 3-3.
Little roller.
Finish line?
Oh, yeah, I gotcha.
And then the roller.
He was kind of going to the pocket of the
he was
first
jumping
one, yeah.
into the pocket instead of trying to stay low.
So, did you, like me, think that maybe one of those guys were going to try to uncork going all the way across and go 3-2?
That's what.
press day, there was a couple times on the 450s, guys were landing long. And
That's
they
what
were,
Dirtworks wanted. I watched
they were
Alex's
trying to go
video.
for- yeah, they were trying to
wanted
go
him to
for it.
jump across that start and then possibly go whatever
3-2, I think.
Yeah,
is what it
3-2.
was.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that was impressive about Mookie too is he was nailing that 3. What was it? 3 out of the corner in the next section.
The 3-3 and then the on-off.
3, and then hitting the tabletop.
Yeah,
and
the
going-
table over 2
Yeah,
and then 2 into the corner.
Yep.
Chase was doing it every now and then, and that was like AP mentioned it.
Mook was consistent with it.
Yeah.
AP
Chase
was
said
like,
he was-
I don't know if I could do that.
Chase say he was doing it most of the night until the third one.
Yeah.
And then
Well-
it got really, really sketchy. And when he backed out of that, that's when he said he started like just giving up on catching
Dude,
Coop.
you had to have such commitment though, like before the corner, because the landing of the 3
yeah.
was so massive
Yeah.
that like dude, if you chopped it just a little bit, you were dead.
That's why it was so impressive. Like that was the stew in him.
yeah.
But it didn't
like,
even.
he
But the
was-
crazy thing is that like, and this goes back to like the difference of the angles. You know, and us, we can see that. Like, with the casual fan, we'll look at it and go, "Oh man, that doesn't look that big. They're getting over it."
No, that was
but
big.
then you can see the angle of it and go, "Holy shit! No, that's a hawk."
Yeah.
On a 450 to go 3 in
Yeah.
or 3 out of the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
consistently which was
Yeah.
the biggest thing for me. Like even in a third main where tracks hit,
Yep.
doing it, and dude, I think if he was 100%, he would have gave Chase a little more of a run.
maybe.
So
It could have been.
And let me ask you guys this before we move on: at any point in that main, were you guys like, "Oh, here comes Mookie
Oh,
on
yeah.
Chase.
Yep.
Is Chase gonna wad it in the whoops?" Like
There
what's
was a part
the-
of me. Yeah, there was a part of me. I'm like, "Oh god, Tampa all over."
Yeah. So
Yep.
No, hats off to Mookie. Not because I'm wearing his hat.
Yeah. AP goes 235 for third.
He's kind of back.
Give it another weekend, but hey, man,
Kind of back.
I'm holding judgment, but
Confidence?
we'll see.
Does he win in the mud?
They disrespected him in the press conference. Said it was his first podium. She then that was your girl.
Oh,
No,
Haley
because
Shanley.
Lee disrespected him on the broadcast. Said that was his first podium of the year.
Oh,
or
Lee Diddy
something.
said that too.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get a shirt that says that? Just with
could.
Lee's face on there,
We could.
bottle of lube?
We could.
with a bottle of lube on the back.
Yes.
With a bottle of lube on the back of the
Yes.
shirt.
Yeah. Easy,
Yes.
easy.
Yes.
Don't turn your back.
Yes. God,
Finally
we are
did.
about to.
Well, if we're not blocked by Lee Diffie, we are now.
Does Emily want to be in charge of our merch here?
Yeah.
Just a picture of Lee's face saying Lee Diddy, and on the back, just don't turn your back on Lee Diddy.
Yeah.
Emily's gonna run the merch now with that
Oh
shirt.
my god.
Well, okay.
Dude, he's probably rain dancing right now because
Yeah.
the confidence that he's probably
Emily's on it. She said, "I'm on it."
Oh my
Good.
god.
Hey, look, tell her that's a split gig there as far as profits go. So
The confidence though that he's probably got, and he's wanting it to be a mud. Like, dude, if it's a full on mudder this weekend, coming off that, I like AP in my opinion is like the guy. He's
Yeah.
got to be the favorite going in if it's going to be a full mudder, only because of his confidence right now.
Does Joe Shimoda run one handguard at a mutter? You think?
oh my god, I don't know.
I don't know. Nate Thrasher with his double
I
handguards
can't
look
let
pretty
that
good.
go. I can't let that
Yeah,
go.
well, you shouldn't. It's fucking dumb that he
That's
was
gonna
running
be
one
a thing.
handguard. Like Honda,
Dude, that's the shirt we need. What
Single
what,
one-handed
what
Joe?
side? What side was he running?
He's
Right
running
side.
the left one, wasn't it?
no, it was left. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it was left.
Yeah.
We just need a shirt with just a left hand card picture. on
one
it.
hand
Joe.
guard, one hand guard Joe.
Something like that. I don't even think we need that. I think
We could start calling him Left Side Joe.
Left side
left
Joe.
side Joe. Oh yes, there we go. See, look at the merch. The merch
Left
rights itself
side
in this
Joe.
Side
industry.
Joe in that picture of him with one handguard.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then just walk up to him and be like, "Hey, can you sign this on the left hand guard?"
All right, Webb 741 for fourth. That was a weird day. He wasn't very good that first one especially was weird.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Just
When
never got
Well,
going.
he's very lucky it was a Triple Crown.
Yeah.
when he struggled in the first main,
What's on your mind?
the
What are you
first thing
laughing
that
about?
popped in my mind is the I don't know how many shows it was ago, but we were talking. I think it was when Jordan was on. We were talking about a Coop has a problem, and you just come back with, "Well, Coop doesn't have bad races," and your voice just popped in my head. I go, well, he's starting out pretty bad right now.
Yeah, that wasn't ideal there.
No.
But guess what? It was a triple crown, and he came through the rest of the night. So
yeah, I mean, he was good.
he didn't have a bad race.
No,
But
I mean...
do you think... Okay, so I thought about this in the first one, too, there, with him struggling. Does he come back to the podium if that's a full main event?
No.
Because I know he struggled there.
I mean, he got to 7th and was just kind of flat.
Dude,
Yeah.
Shane was giving him all he could handle there for a
Yeah,
minute.
well, you know, we'll get to Shane, dude.
Sugar Shane.
Sugar Shane.
Shane, yeah.
Showed up to get that top.
No.
Showed up to get that top 5, brother.
Hey, look out for him in the mud, brother.
No, I don't think he would have had anything in those mains.
Okay.
Catching Chase and Mookie and AP.
All right. Roczen goes 4.64 for 5th.
AC joint
AC
separation.
joint
point.
separation.
Man, and I guess I discounted him a little bit for riding injured because
Yeah.
I'm really getting a flashback now because all the talk of Tomac's 2015 Hangtown, they just released that on the vault, and then the
Yeah, I got to go watch the Re-Raceables.
oh my
I got to
God,
go
it's
listen to that
insane.
Re-Raceables.
The Re-Raceables was good, so then
Yeah.
I went and watched it, and oh my God.
Oh, I watched that race recently.
Oh, my
I was
God.
flipping through, like, probably right before the season.
Yeah, but Roczen had a hurt back that day, and then still mustered up like a 5th or something. So
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, he can ride hurt. But I took him out of the top 5 for Rocky Mountain. I
Dude,
was just like,
his back
he's
was
screwed.
actually fucked up. That I remember being at Millville that year, and I remember watching him after each moto ride into the pits, and like he could barely get off the bike.
Yeah.
So what was the deal with that? Just slipped
He got
disc or
he
what
got
was it?
yeah he got hurt in training like 2 or 3 weeks before that.
Oh,
Yeah.
like
Like he came in with a fucked up back that year, 2 outdoors.
he wasn't. That was after Eldon too. Then
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he left Eldon.
so
that was
so it was like a training issue. He hurt himself lifting.
yeah. He came in fucked up,
Interesting.
and then
Okay.
I think that he actually had a practice crash the week leading up to Hangtown, and then it just he never. I mean, they talk about it that year about him. He never
fully financially recovered from that.
got maybe not. No, he never.
Yeah. Well, again, I wrote him off quite a bit just because of that, and I shouldn't have. Mm-hmm. I mean, Kenny is a dog on them dry, slick tracks like that
100%.
too. So, to see a little fight out of him through the main was good too. At least.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it just is what
He was
it is.
good. I
Yeah.
mean, he definitely
It is
could
what
have been
it
a lot
is.
worse.
Yep.
Third place in points. Hopefully Suzuki pays.
Yep. J Coop 6.76 for 6th.
Guys, was either one of you thinking that how that track was breaking down, and after how qualifying went, that he was in the running for a win?
I thought he stood a chance,
Because
man.
I was pounding that drum. I was like, "Oh, Jay Coop's gonna get a dub tonight."
So I was on another drum that I was pounding, and
Cue
Context.
Cue
So-
the SMX come video here.
Context.
so I was curious to how he was going to react to all the noise around him this week. As people know, there's a burner account out there
Oh God.
Yeah.
with his wife,
Oh.
with the gambler, the Mickey Mays guy.
Yeah, there's a whole thing
And-
going on
and
with
it's a
that.
whole
Let's
thing
not get
going
too
on.
far into that. I don't
And
want to
obviously,
talk about
I
that.
mean, Justin himself fired back in the comments, said everything's cool, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But he's getting attacked. His wife's getting attacked. There's all this noise off the track. How is that going to affect you on race day?
I think
don't
Jay
know.
Coop's pretty
Do
mentally.
you think
solid.
he's able to tune that out, or do
I
you
think
think
so.
that played an
Yeah, I
effect?
think he's
I think he's pretty mentally
okay.
solid. And here's the thing, man: his neck's always turned to the left, so his neck's always.
Jesus.
He keeps his head up.
The thing I found funny was that there was all the stuff about her, right?
Yeah.
And she reposted some of them on her stories from like Donut MX or something. I was flipping
Yeah,
through
yeah.
the other day and I saw that she reposted some of them. I'm like, well, at least she seems to have a sense of humor about it.
Yeah. So
So,
there was some pretty aggressive stuff going
dude,
around
there
this week.
was,
So,
there was.
It's just people that don't have lives.
yeah.
Well, you know, we're pretty used to that here, so whatever.
No,
Yeah.
I think Jay Coop's pretty good at drowning out the noise. And I
Yeah.
think honestly that goes back to, and we've kind of talked about this, and I think it honestly is because he lived a normal life for a lot of his younger
yeah, I mean,
years.
he graduated high school and probably dealt with that.
He
shit,
wasn't
right? So-
sheltered, and
Yeah.
he went to fucking school in New York of all
Yeah.
places. So
Long Island of all.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that he knows how to handle this kind of shit. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
not to the extent like this much popularity before, obviously.
Right.
But like he wasn't a sheltered kid. He lived a normal like
Okay.
kid life. So I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah,
Yeah.
So I could be wrong.
Kinda
I
like
could be
Coop.
just he just sucks on California dirt.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely a soft dirt kind of guy.
no, yeah, I think his races this year have kind of proved that already.
Yep.
All right. Well, I put him in my top 5, and he blew my fantasy picks.
Seriously though, boys, I thought he was going to win at least one main.
I did
was
too.
beating that drum.
I
I was
did
like,
too.
ooh. I was like,
When I saw
he's-
that track in the afternoon, I was like, this is a Justin Cooper thing happening
Yeah,
here.
yeah. So
Jason Anderson, 5'8", for 7th.
Wow, what a rough
I like how
night.
we just start laughing.
Wow.
What a
dude.
bummer. Actually, I
Hey.
don't really care.
I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. There's a wise man named Tony Alessi that says the universe will get you.
Okay, so I recorded a video about this week. It never got published, so let's talk about it right now so I can cut a video for this. So the rumor mill with Ando here is obviously that Kawasaki and him are not jiving right this second.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's been debatable for a few years now, actually.
And the assumption is that the rumor is that he is in talks with Club already to go there. So,
I think that's a bad
thoughts on that?
idea. I think that's a bad idea.
But where else does he go?
I like it. I like that for Jason
I think it
Anderson.
is good too.
So Jason Anderson, the Club MX, is good for a couple of reasons. It gives Club MX an A-level guy
Yep.
for that team.
Yep.
It gives Jason Anderson the opportunity to do World Supercross, Australian Supercross,
Yep.
all the stuff that had good mojo going for him
Yep.
when he won his title in 18, all that stuff.
Yep.
A way less laid-back atmosphere.
Yep.
When he wants to do something to that bike,
They're
Brandon
gonna
Haas
do
is
it.
going to step up and say, hey, you're going to do this shit. We're going to figure it out for you.
Yep.
I like it.
I'm okay with it too.
And I hate to be a hater, but Jason Anderson's at the point in his career where it's pay cut time. People are like, oh, you're a dick. He doesn't yet. Guess who took a pay cut and gambled on themselves? Eli Tomac.
Yep. And look where we're at now.
He got the pay cut time in his career. Jason Anderson's there.
I think
Yep.
the bike's going to need to get better.
I think that bike's pretty good, and I think that...
The 250F is good.
I think their 450 was better.
Look, I think that 450...
Where does that come from?
I mean,
Phil
Phil's pretty good.
said that 450 is better than that
but
250.
Phil and Anderson have two
But guess
wildly
what?
contrasting
Listen,
styles.
Listen, Phil was able to get factory support and get Yamaha suspension and stuff.
Yeah.
And if Jason Anderson goes there, Yamaha is going to give them factory support.
Yes.
Hope so.
When you bring a former champion, guy capable of winning races,
Yeah. 100%. Is that what your concern is with him going there? Is that you don't think the bike is going to be?
I don't think the
his
bike's going to be good
caliber?
enough. I don't think the bike's going to be good enough for him. I think that he's going to be chasing it, and I think that he can set a bike up. But I think he's been on a Kawasaki, coming from the Husky to the Kawasaki.
Yeah.
Going to the Yamaha is two totally different bikes from what those are. And I think that at his point of his career, I agree with you what you guys are saying, that they're going to give him the leniency to do whatever he wants, and they're going to work with him. I'm just concerned that at this late in his career, is he going to be willing to chase figuring a bike out if it doesn't work for him and not get frustrated and get in his own head and make it worse? Now, because if he goes in and he doesn't care about results for a year or two, fine, this is a different conversation. But he's been literally factory full-fledged since he went pro.
Yeah.
He's never had to develop a bike where it's been solely on him.
He didn't have to develop a bike with Bobby Hewitt on the Suzuki and the KTM that year?
Not the KTM. The Suzuki, I mean, dude, that bike was this. I don't disagree with you guys that I don't think that it's going to be good for him because the Cowie thing is not working. But I just think that'd be my only worry. I think that is my only worry. And to answer your question, where else would he go? There's only one other spot that I could think that he'd go, and that would be Quadlock Honda.
Ducati. No.
No.
Quadlock
He's not
Honda.
So I'm telling you, the club, the pieces fit together.
Does
He's
Quadlock?
He's down there riding.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No,
No,
the
you're
pieces
right.
fit together.
Just-
He's down there riding at the facility,
Yeah.
and I'm
I think
sure
it's a
those
great fit.
conversations are being had.
I think
Yeah.
it's a great fit. What were you going to say about Quadlock?
Do they have a spot for him?
I think that they would get rid of Joey or Shane to pick up Anderson.
Because you do realize that Shane was only supposed to do 6, right? And they're scraping to get by to get him to the race now.
I think if you have the chance to pick up someone like Anderson, Quadlock will fork over the money.
But how do
Somebody
you?
else has got to bring the money.
But how do you afford that? That's my question with it.
Urive will find a way. Urive has found a
I
way
mean,
for a long
I'm not
time.
saying Urive can't, because I think Urive is another one of the owners that does well or whatever. But I'm just saying there isn't money there, and you think that bike's developed better than the Club MX Yamaha?
I think a Honda is a better fit for Anderson than the Yamaha is. I think with the way Anderson rides the bike, Honda is a better
Honda's
fit.
better. Why?
Why? Because of the design of the chassis, where that Yamaha is a more front-end heavy bike and the way the height of the ergonomics of the chassis, whereas that Honda is more neutral. Ando rides at the back of the bike a lot. If you start moving him back and it takes all that load off that front end, I think that front end is going to start dancing around a lot. And we know that Yamaha, easily has the best horsepower of any of the other. So they're going to have to start going backwards, and they're just going to be. I think they're going to be chasing. It's just my opinion. I'm not saying it's fact, but I think you look at that Honda. If you ask anybody,
Let me explain to you why I won't go to Honda.
well, we're not talking about factory Honda. We're talking about quad lock Honda.
Let me explain to you why I won't go to Honda. Lawrence's.
Yeah, I mean,
The Lawrences have nothing to do with Quad Lock Honda. Just
Yeah,
because they're
but-
sponsored by Quad Lock, they don't tell Yuri Konski what to do with his own money.
Do they have any support at all from Honda?
Who?
No,
Quadlock?
Quadlock.
Doesn't?
it's from
They
Yuri.
got to have at least a little bit.
They're
of
getting
support
help from Honda, but Yuri is footing
Okay, well, there
a
it is.
lot
There
of
you
the bill.
go. There you go.
If they're getting
Totally
any
disagree.
kind of help from Honda, those boys are going to be.
How do you figure? They
Because
literally
you think what
got.
are the Lawrences going to tell Yuri Konski to do with his own fucking team?
It's not the Lawrences. Honda's going to tell him that.
Because who told him? The
Because
Lawrences?
the Lawrences are going to be like,
and you
yeah,
know what
we don't
Yuri will
want-
say? Cool, I'll figure out another sponsor, and it'll just be his
No
team
way.
somewhere. Yeah.
No.
You don't think
way.
Yuri's
So he's
got
going
that
to
kind
switch brands?
You don't think Yuri's got that much money?
So he's going to switch
Listen,
Do you
brands?
not
Listen,
think
listen,
Yuri's got that
listen.
much
I'm
money?
not saying Uribe doesn't have
Then
that
he'll
much
find a way.
money.
I think
You think the Lawrences, I think you're giving the Lawrences too much credit on this
They literally stopped Deegan from going to a race.
in Australia.
Yeah, so you don't think they can't stop
No.
a fucking satellite
No,
team
they're
that
not gonna-
has
they're not gonna stop
that has
somebody- no.
backing from Honda?
No.
If Anderson
Okay.
goes to any kind of satellite team, he can bring money with him.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think he's smart enough to leverage his marketing because he's got the Team Fried, got that kind of following. He's smart enough to leverage that kind of thing to bring other sponsors to the table.
He probably can.
I agree.
He
I
can
don't think-
bring- I
he
don't
can bring
disagree
Alpine
with
Star
that.
to the table with him and get his gear money.
Yeah.
Because FXR is probably going to be a pay cut.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're smart, any team would let him bring his own gear money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even could you see him on a black bike under the Tedder rig, whatever brand he wants? Go out and do a Chad Reed test day and be under the Tedder tent?
Maybe, but I mean,
But I like the club thing.
I think the club thing is great.
the club thing all fits because of him being at club is
Correct.
where I think
It's
all the
very
pieces
easy
fit
to sit
together
him down
with
and
the-
have a conversation with him when he's at your facility.
Yeah, well, it's very easy for him to go, "Hey, man, what if we just did something next year? You know, like what do I
Hey,
need
let
to
me
bring?"
Take that bike for a couple
Yeah.
laps. Like,
So, I adamantly disagree with you on the Honda thing because, like I said, I think if that were the case, I then think that somehow through it, the Lawrences say something to Honda of like, we don't really want to be involved with this guy at all, period, end of discussion. And Honda then goes to Uribe and says, look, man, you
I
can't
think
do
they've
this.
got that kind of pull.
I think they do too.
I think you're giving them too much credit on that.
They
They're not gonna-
signed a fucking 5 or 6 year deal. Who else has signed that?
I don't care.
They-
You're not going
they
to tell another
stopped-
dude. You're not going to tell another successful businessman what to do with his own team. Then he'll figure out another sponsor. He's been in this fucking business for years
That's
and
not
years
another
and years.
sponsor. That is a whole new bike development then.
Yeah,
No,
because
I'm not
they're
talking
gonna
about.
be-
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about Honda. I'm talking about the quad lock thing.
No,
He will
that's not
figure-
what I'm talking about with Quad Lock. I'm talking about Honda telling him this.
He'll figure it out.
Honda's gonna tell Uribe, hey, you can't have that guy on our bike.
because
Then
isn't Uribe's team in Australia the factory team?
It is the factory team.
Yeah. So
They're not going
So
to.
he's gonna give that- so he's gonna give that up?
The Lawrences are not going to affect that.
Because if anybody signs with Uribe's team, I think they're locked into. They do the off-season races
Hmm?
with him.
yeah,
I think you're giving them too much credit.
I mean, 6 months ago I would have not said that, but then I watched him and learned about the whole Deegan situation, and
You also got to think that the only reason that Australian event was even happening was because of Jet and Hunter.
I mean, I'm just saying if you've got that kind of pull.
The whole ass team's a little bit different than what you're talking about.
I don't know.
I
For-
vehemently disagree with that.
All right. Well, we'll see. I don't know. Like I said, I think he goes to club anyway. I think that marriage with everything that's happening just fits too perfectly. And he's probably, to be honest too, he's probably looking at that Yamaha with Tomac and Webb riding it and going, that bike seems pretty good.
I think the Yamaha's a great bike. I just don't know. Once again, I don't.
You think Uribe's bike's more developed than the
I think
club
the
bike?
Honda bike is better. I'm not
Look,
talking.
Like,
about,
what are you concerned about? Are you concerned about chassis or motor?
yes, chassis, motor, not at all. Especially
I'm
with the
not
way
concerned
Anderson
about-
rides.
I'm not concerned about chassis. If Enzo is going to step up and help Phil Nicoletti out, they're going to step up and help Jason.
Let me
Anderson.
ask you, who do you know that
And
rides?
Honda's
Who
an-
on a Yamaha rides the bike the way Anderson does, though?
It don't matter. They're going to have Enzo there working with him.
And the Honda is new bike. The Yamaha is going to be.
This is where I think I'm not making my point. I think that I don't think that Reeves' bike's better. I think the Honda as a base is better for someone like Anderson.
Okay.
I don't think that
riding style.
Yes, because of his riding style.
Gotcha.
In what way? Like too loose.
That's what I'm saying though.
Can't turn the bike.
But
down
Anderson
the corner.
rides at the back of the bike. The Honda's a more neutral, where the Yamaha is a more front end bike. And I don't think Anderson is going to be able to do that.
I beg to
Look,
differ.
you know
Unless
who-
the new ones,
look,
unless the
hey,
new
you
ones
know
are
who
way
run-
different.
You know who rode that Yamaha with the ass end down?
Who?
AP, and he was starting to roll on that bike.
But that was the old bike.
Don't matter.
That was not this
they can
bike.
Figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I haven't rode the new one, but I will say the
I
previous.
rode a new
unless
one the other day. I
Did-
rode Denver's.
the brand like a 25.
Yeah.
Did it steer with the rear?
I felt like I could do pretty much anything I wanted on it. But dude, the power on that thing was the most unbelievable.
The power
thing
on
I've ever
the
felt.
dude, they're ridiculous.
I just don't
Loud,
see. I
too.
don't see anyone that rides the bike, the Yamaha that is, the way Jason Anderson does. There's not a person out there that you could find at that level.
Yeah.
That rides the way. If you can find someone, I'll be open to see it. But show me someone at his level that rides the way he does.
So I understand what you're saying, but
I'm getting a more technical
But,
side of it. You
yeah.
guys are looking at it as a whole. I'm looking at it from the
okay.
nuts and bolts of it.
But one last question for you here, and then we'll move on. If you're Jason Anderson, right? You're actually Jason.
Yeah.
You're looking at what the Lawrences are going through with the Honda. You're looking at what Webb and J. Coop and Tomac have done on the Blue Crew here.
Yeah.
Which one do you think he's picking?
Oh, he's probably going to go with the Yamaha.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
he's
just
not.
what
He's
I
not
wanted
going to
to
go
make
with the
sure.
Honda.
That's-
I personally believe that for him, I think that the Honda is a better bike. But that's just my opinion.
I understand. I'm just saying if
Yeah,
if you're the rider looking at it,
because Jason also
you're
doesn't.
going, going to club to ride a Yamaha.
He's not Jay Coop or Eli or Coop though either. He doesn't go about the way his process is not the same way as those guys.
I think he can figure out to ride any bike you put underneath him, and he's got to be with a team that's going to let him do what he wants.
Yeah, I think that's. I'm not disagreeing with you guys. I think he is going to go to club. I just don't think that it's going to end up right
Sounds
away.
like you're disagreeing with us a lot.
Just because I'm looking at it from the nuts and bolts.
He
technical
likes
side of it.
Honda, dude. He's
I
like the Honda
know.
home
I know.
motivator.
And dude, can you imagine how hard his dick's gonna be if Jason Anderson lines up on a fucking Honda? Holy shit!
Not really. Not
Hitting the table.
He's
Nah.
baby.
buying merch that day.
Buying merch that
not-
day. Team Fried.
Team fried.
I don't know, man.
merch.
I don't know if I
Show
can-
Peyton over
shows
here.
up.
I don't know if I can get behind Ando some of the antics that he does, man. Some of the stuff he does just bothers me.
Just hard to the paint. So.
I think Anderson's a great rider, and I love watching him ride. But some of the stuff he does, like it's the same thing with Barsha.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. So Shane goes 8-12-9 for 8th.
Dude. That's Star
Johnny
Star Yami Shane right there.
Bro,
Fucking
ready
Shane Sins.
for top fives.
He's
He
riding
doesn't get-
really good.
Watch him
dude.
go get a
Prime.
podium next
He's
week.
doing
in the
well.
mud.
He's doing well. I hope they
Hey,
can.
if it's muddy, he's podium.
I hope they can get him to all the races here. Let's just put it.
Well,
that
you know
way.
they can't
I mean,
afford
he's-
for him to get hurt
yeah,
because
I mean,
Joey's
he's
going to be out
definitely
for a while.
performing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they can now because Joey is out.
Joey's gonna be
so-
out for a while.
What's the word on Joey?
Lacerated liver, spleen, I think.
Something like
Real-
that.
real-
Yeah,
real
Real
yeah.
bad.
injury.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. Yeah,
Actually, no, he's not going to be out for a while.
That's a bad idea.
He was contemplating this weekend. Now Zach
terrible
said on the on Steve's
Couple
Thursday
weeks, yeah.
show, but he said Seattle's a
That's a bad
definite
idea.
possibility.
This is
so
see, man. This is what I hate about these guys in the situations that they get put in. Like, dude,
stupid.
it's not like Joey's already been down this road before.
I
He was hurt a
understand.
lot, and like, what could have happened to him?
Yeah.
Dude, why would you risk it?
Yeah.
I'm with you.
All right, moving on here. Let's rapid fire through some of these here because we got a ton to get through. Barsha 18-5-7.
The 5, just a random 5, like, but what?
Yeah,
It's
but the
18
5 and 7 I feel like is where he should be.
Yeah, the 18 he got squiddy in the section where Kev and Starling had their thing. And
You mean when
Nah.
Kev took Starling out? You mean when Kev took Starling out?
Yeah, okay, where Kev blasted Starling, but said he
Yeah.
didn't. Just said he just took his
Yeah.
line. But yeah, he went over that berm and was stuck under the bike. And
Mm-hmm.
then typical Barsha fashion, Whiskey Throttle's got the video on their social. He goes to pick up the bike with it wide
Oh, yeah,
open. And
just
he does like the 360 thing with it and falls.
Yeah.
again.
It
I mean,
falls over, yeah.
He's had sneaky good rides, but I just find it funny that like he'll have like one bad race or like just a ridiculously uncharacteristic heat race, and in the main you just look up and you're like, Barsha's just battling with like Kenny or AP for 5th or
Yeah.
6th, and
Yeah.
you're like, what the fuck?
Yep. All right. Your best friend Benny. Ooh, that's a shirt. My best friend
My
Benny.
best friend Benny.
Yes,
We buy
that,
bunk beds.
that is a
Are
shirt.
we gonna do karate in the garage?
So
Emily, I know you're watching. That's a shirt. My best friend Betty.
I think she got sick of us.
Probably. I don't blame her.
Oh, that's typical.
Somebody we know, and they may be listening to this.
Doubt
I
it.
think they're listeners. was at the bar in Indy, and Jeff Blah showed up.
Oh, yes.
God.
And guess what he was doing?
Karate kicking people in the
bragging about how much money he had.
No, that's typical.
Fucking dude. This is what I've been saying.
Oh, stop! You're blowing out speakers.
God, dude.
Oh man,
Benny.
was literally bragging to this person about how much money he had.
Benny,
That's awesome.
You're a rich kid.
that's awesome. All right, Justin Hill, 11th with a 17.98.
Roczen cuffed and stuffed him.
Cuffed and stuffed him.
Your boy
Yeah.
I think
Officer-
Billy got a little too big for his britches in that.
Yeah, I
in that
don't know what
qualifier.
Officer Hill was thinking when he tried to triple out of that first corner there.
From
On
the inside.
From the inside. Just straight wheel spin all the way up
Dude,
it.
bro.
And not only that,
Hill.
but from the inside, off the start, in traffic.
Yeah, with
In
everybody.
practice.
In practice.
Practice.
Like, hold on, let's
you
just keep
didn't-
making this
You
worse.
didn't have like just one. You
With
had
the
them
sun in
all-
his eye.
With the
Yeah.
sun in his eye.
He definitely should have put himself in the cop car after that.
Oh
Yep.
my god, dude, he got cuffed and stuffed by
Yeah.
himself.
Yard sailed it.
Craig makes a triumphant return, 11-15-13 for 12.
I know he's already been a
Oh, I
start.
thought you
No,
were
no,
gonna
no,
hit
no,
that
no, no,
button.
no.
I thought you were
no,
too,
no,
and
no,
I was
no,
like,
no,
bro,
no,
it's the
no,
first one.
no,
Like,
no.
let's
He's
chill.
good. He's fine.
33 years old.
Look,
Yeah.
man.
Wow.
I didn't realize
I know that
that.
he's
Old
already
man.
he's already ridden for Star in the past, but I'll just say it. Christian on a Star bike just looks right.
Yeah.
No, I would give him lit kit. That gear and the
Yeah.
boots, the whole
Yeah, that was
deal,
good.
He
Yeah.
looks awesome.
I hope he can build,
I
get
think he
healthy,
will.
get his confidence back, get some top tens. And crazy enough to say about Christian because we don't know him as an outdoor guy, but
He's
Star
a top
Yamaha
5
450 outdoor guy.
Look.
He's saucy.
It's early.
That's why I say
It's
build,
early.
Build,
but
build.
He did not look good.
No,
He didn't
Yeah.
look good.
It
but I
looked-
mean,
And
dude,
I
he
was
hasn't-
very concerned when I saw him jump in the whoops.
But he hasn't. I mean, what? He hasn't raced in
We're
a
cool.
year.
It's been 6 months.
Yeah,
I
it's been a
think, so-
while. It's
Yeah.
been a while.
So, like, I think.
Yeah, keep building. Keep
Yeah.
building. You ain't got no pressure on you.
Nope.
Look, man.
Nope.
Like I said, Christian on a Star bike. It just. I don't know, man. It just
Like
looks
peanut
right.
butter and jelly.
Something peanut butter and honey.
Dylan,
Ooh, I like peanut butter and honey.
Dylan,
no crust?
Dylan Ferrandis.
Crustables?
Tuna, no crust.
Can we move on?
Tuna, no crust.
Instead of just
Yeah,
sitting here
Dylan,
saying dumb
he
shit.
He never had you.
Dylan-
He
Dylan-
never had you cough.
9:22:10 for 13th. What was that 22nd? He pulled off.
God, dude, he's
Who's this?
Dylan.
I-
Dylan Ferrandis.
Dylan.
will-
He did pull off for some reason.
Yeah,
it will
who knows?
not shock me if he calls her a career after
Well,
this
that
year.
one's
I don't
surprised
know,
me
dude.
either.
He's been showing a little bit of life. Indy
Yeah, I
was
guess
very
that's true.
He's been
for
good,
him.
man, but I think that he is just kind of. I think
Over
he's
it.
just over it, man.
Yep.
He doesn't look like he's having fun at the races anymore.
He
No.
probably doesn't like not being on a factory team.
I don't blame him.
Probably not. Mitchell Oldenburg, 16-11-14.
Look good in practice.
Okay.
Who had him as the wild card in Rocky Mountain?
Not me.
I had Chiz.
I think whatever rounds they do show up to for outdoors, I think he could be a sneaky pick.
Maybe.
Oldenburg?
Yeah, man. I mean, he was
I
okay.
don't know.
I think he hovers around the same spot.
I'm concerned that the jumping in and out and outdoors isn't going to go
I'm
well.
also concerned about that beta outdoors.
I don't know about that, but
You should go do a GNCC. Hopefully that'll count.
yeah.
Freckle in the woods.
Jerry goes 12-13-19 for
Dude,
15th.
listen, I've been.
Oh, boy.
A lot of people have been critical on Jerry.
Well, I mean, he gives a lot of things to be critical
He
about.
did, yeah.
He
He
is
laid,
Jerry.
He
He is
laid a
Jerry.
lot of eggs, but Jerry is having a very quiet, good season.
Been way more solid this year.
He's been
way
very
more
solid, and
He-
talk about another guy that's a lot better outdoors.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
He will always be known though as Jerry's gonna Jerry,
Jerry's gonna.
which has got to be a bummer that he's gone through his whole entire career ever since he's gotten known and be known as the guy that just you're either on or you're on the ground.
Yep.
Robin laid an egg.
Robin laid an egg.
Chiz 14-14-17 for 16th.
Chisin.
Harlan 15-16-18 for 17th.
Probably
Harlan
happy
made
that
the
he-
main.
Probably happy that
Yeah,
through
right.
the
Right
times.
through. Beat Kev by like a tenth.
Probably
get
happy
in.
that he just made a main. At the
Kevin Bummy hung the
Uh,
wheel on one jump.
Colt Nichols 13-21-16 for 18. Go ahead. That's not good.
Listen, Pat McAfee is going to be the highlight.
The
of
highlight of
season.
his career.
No,
Whoa.
no.
Well, I guess he won that 250 title.
That 250
That
title,
was-
he was good.
That
Yeah.
was rude.
He was really
I
good that
miss
year.
Star Yamaha.
Highlight
Colt
of the
Nichols.
highlight of the year. Highlight of the year.
I miss Star
That
Yamaha.
Cole Nichols
Yeah.
was kicking the shit out of Christian Craig.
Yep,
too.
That Cole Nichols was
100%.
kicking the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, he was good.
God.
Mitchell Harrison 21-17-15 for 19th.
Just in the main, man. That's all he's doing. I think he's ready for outdoors at this point.
Tristan Lane 19-18-20 for 20th.
Good for Tristan Lane making a main.
Kev 2019 22nd for 21st.
Glad
Got
to
a
check out
point.
Starling.
And Starling 22nd, 20th, 21st
That
for
no
gear
point.
was that gear
22nd.
was That gear was fresh though.
I like the
Sonic
gear.
Yeah,
I
not
like
giving-
the
It's
gear.
I'm
kind of
not
like a pinkish color.
Yeah,
isn't it?
it's a pink
like
purple.
a sea foam kind of deal.
I'm
No,
not giving
it's like a
Starling
pink
credit,
purple fade.
Giving our boy Eric credit.
Yeah, we're giving Eric a
No,
lot
that
of
was-
credit.
good,
If
good.
Christian Craig
Listen.
was the lit kit, then Starling was the second lit kit.
He did get second lit kit.
It was
Yes.
fresh,
Yeah.
but I don't want to give the guy on the bike credit because I don't like him.
Because I don't like him. Well, we'll add
Because I
that
don't
to our
like him.
thing here.
Oh, okay.
You don't like him either.
I just- Yeah.
Watch him spray himself in the eye with
And
WD-40
he is definitely a terrible lapper. Even like Cooper Webb and all those guys were talking about how terrible he is to lap.
How crazy is
And
that?
then he had to turn around and be like, "Yeah, Jason Anderson was yelling at me for getting in the way."
So he wasn't obviously around for this, but you remember those days, the Rockstar Suzuki, and even before the Honda Red Bull Honda
Like
Honda
amateur-
days, amateur stuff, like
Yeah.
dude, like the Red Bull Jam stuff with him
Yeah,
and B
yeah,
Mazy
yeah.
and Jesse Nelson.
Yeah, when he rode the 150.
Like people forget at one point Starling was going to be the next guy.
Yeah.
Like and
Do
this
you
was
think the 150 ruined his amateur career?
Yes.
I think
No.
going on Suzuki's was a ruining thing
You
for
think
him.
so?
I think if he would have been lucky enough to be part of that Geico Honda, I think he would have been really good. But
Who'd they get besides him in that era?
the Geico days, or the Suzuki.
Geico.
Well, that was start of like the Tomac, Wharton, Barsha.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did better with those.
Oh, I think they did too.
but-
I'm talking about for Starling's career trajectory. If
Right.
he'd have been lucky
Well-
enough to be on the Geico squad. But and the American Suzuki or the Rockstar Suzuki was a good bike. The problem is that team, kind of like the Extreme Team Green team, was so big. I think Starling just got lost in the shuffle.
Probably.
Lost in the south.
All right, that's been your 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Gutter Works. Just want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys like this kind of content and you want to see the full show, it's linked right here. If you guys want to make sure that you never miss an update, you never miss a show, a live stream, a bike build, or anything that we're doing, make sure to hit that subscribe button there and make sure to turn on notifications with the bell. If you want to join our members area to help support the show, that's greatly appreciated too. And you can check us recording things live that other people in the general public don't get to see. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see y'all on the next one.